The impact of climate change has led to devastating weather events including wildfire conflagrations, which have completely destroyed entire towns in recent years. These massive fires have taxed fire departments beyond their normal capacity, and there is every indication that the new normal will include more of these wildfires, not fewer. FireRein was founded by a group of firefighters who understood the necessity to create a fire suppression product that is safe for the environment and the firefighters using it. The team had discovered that supposedly green products being used by firefighters still contained toxic ingredients that had harmful consequences to the environment and potentially to the firefighters themselves. With a solution in mind, FireRein partnered with academics and the science community in the creation of EcoGel, a certified 100% bio-based product that is safe for both the environment and the firefighters using it. In addition to being the safest solution known globally, its performance on Class A and Class B fires has been recognized and verified by Underwriters Laboratories after live fire testing at their Illinois facilities. Our team is comprised of urban, rural, and industrial firefighters with over 100 years of combined service. A science team led by a PhD biochemist, mechanical systems experts, and specialized professional contractors. FireRein's mission is to provide effective, safe, and sustainable firefighting solutions to protect firefighters, communities, and the environment, all while knocking down fires faster.
Over the course of several years, when typical seasonal temperatures and precipitation change, forests are stressed. In the case of a changing climate, large areas experience reduced rainfall and increased temperatures, get drier and hotter, and these create conditions more favorable for fires. Climate scientists are unequivocal that human-made climate change is to blame for the rise in temperatures, with the ensuing drought creating more extreme fire danger. Fire-prone conditions are predicted to increase across Canada. This could potentially result in a doubling of the amount of area burned by the end of this century, compared with amounts burned in recent decades. Boreal forests, which stretch across northern Canada and have been greatly influenced by fire throughout history, will likely be especially affected by this change. There are several catastrophic wildfires that occurred last year. Northern Ontario experienced the Kenora 51 fire. It burned over 200,000 hectares, was the largest wildfire recorded in Ontario, and saw the evacuation of several First Nations communities. Another destructive fire, and the largest single wildfire in California's state history, was the Dixie Fire of 2021. It lasted for 2 months, burned almost 400,000 hectares, and with entire towns being completely destroyed. This fire was a major catastrophe for the state, costing over $1 billion to control. It seriously injured and killed firefighters and destroyed over 1,300 buildings. Both of these massive fires are examples of their catastrophic nature due to climate change. Larger burned areas correlate directly to larger areas lacking vegetation. This loss of protected vegetation leaves soil unprotected from wind and water erosion. Soil, sediment, and fire ash are picked up by water runoff and eventually enter into streams and water bodies. This in turn creates harmful conditions to aquatic systems and fish, and particularly fish such as trout that need sediment-free conditions. Additional harmful effects to aquatic systems and fish habitat occur where traditional fire retardants are used on wildland fires. The safety data sheet of the most commonly used aerial fire retardant for wildland fire control in North America states it may cause long-term adverse effects in the aquatic environment and lists rainbow trout as a target fish. Other research has determined that aerial drops of this currently used retardant during salmon migration to the ocean has adverse impacts that extend beyond the acute mortality that occurs within the immediate drop and dilution areas. In other words, it has adverse impacts downstream as well as where it first entered into the water. For forest fires in general, and for preemptive protection of forests from oncoming fire near watercourses to save streamside vegetation, that's vegetation that provides a protective buffer, the preferred solution for firefighting would be retardants and suppressants that have little to no toxicity to terrestrial or aquatic systems. The only known fire suppressant product with environmental certification from Underwriters Laboratories and the USDA as 100% bio-based is EcoGel, a patented product from FireRein. Although firefighting products will have little effect on climate change, using products that are biodegradable and non-toxic will prevent contamination of the environment from fighting fires.
My name is Ryan Prosser. I'm an associate professor at the University of Guelph. I'm in the School of Environmental Sciences, and so my research group focuses on the impact of chemicals on the environment, so the field of environmental toxicology. So we look at the impact of various different chemicals, pesticides, metals, pharmaceuticals, and their impact on different species within terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. And we, over the last couple of years, have been doing research on the impact of firefighting water additives on terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. We've tested a variety of different products, and what we found is that the toxicity of those products varies widely. So there are some that are considerably less toxic than others. I can't really speak to their firefighting efficacy, how good they are fighting fires, but my thinking is that you'd want to choose something. If it's good at fighting fires, you want to choose something that is going to have less of an impact on the environment. And one of the things that we found is that EcoGel, one of the products that's produced by FireRein, is consistently the least toxic to the variety of aquatic and terrestrial species that we've tested. So it's sort of been a good news story in that there are products on the market like EcoGel that have limited toxicity.
When it comes to the relationship between modern human communities and wildfire, we're way off kilter right now. The state of California is having earnest conversations about controlled burns and forestry management that would look similar to the way indigenous people managed the forest for centuries. Their methods focused on prescribed burns to manage wildfires and maintain healthy forests. FireRein understands and appreciates that healthier forests result in fewer megafires and would like to see an alliance of tradition and innovation. In addition to being an effective and environmentally benign fire suppressant, FireRein EcoGel can be used as a short-term retardant to support controlled or prescribed burns. As a leader in truly safer firefighting solutions, FireRein wishes to work with First Nations communities to move away from decades of wildfire suppression tactics and return to an approach of wildfire stewardship.
EcoGel is a game changer for wildland-urban interface firefighting and can be utilized by both wildland and municipal fire crews for combating wildfires. Other gels and powdered retardants require specialized equipment, which makes deployment challenging for ground crews, whereas EcoGel can be used by municipal firefighters using the standard firefighting equipment they already use. Prevent. EcoGel can be used as a short-term retardant to create fire breaks, which will prevent the spread of fire and help manage use of resources on scene. Protect. EcoGel sticks and stays where applied, which means it protects at-risk properties and structures. Applying EcoGel in advance of a fire front can provide many hours of protection. Extinguish. EcoGel is effective for direct application for suppression by quickly extinguishing flames and inhibiting reignition when applied by ground crews. All of this is done without posing any risk to crops, livestock, wildlife, or our precious water resources. Secondary costs for cleanup and remediation are eliminated when the agent being used is environmentally benign and completely non-toxic.
The use of carcinogenic firefighting foams that are harmful to our environment is having a significant impact on municipalities as well as all levels of government. To date, there have been a number of civil litigation actions taken or are moving through the court process in both Canada and the United States. Settlements to remediate sites are indeed costly to municipality or government agency. For example, The firefighting foam used by the Canadian Armed Forces at the North Bay Airport is a recent example. The following is a quote with respect to the settlement reached in July 2021 between the City of North Bay and the Department of National Defence. The $20 million contribution agreement, which goes before Council this evening for approval, will see D&D provide up to $19.4 million over 6 years towards the airport PFAS cleanup, including study, removal, and remediation. The city will fund the balance of up to $600,000 over the same period. Additionally, the agreement allows the city to submit a second proposal in the future for additional costs if required. D&D's use of the airport lands for firefighter training at 22 Wing, North Bay between the early 1970s and the mid-1990s had previously been identified as the main source of PFAS on the property due to its presence in firefighting foams, although it was historically present in a variety of industrial and consumer products. The North Bay story has been duplicated multiple times across North America. The impact of the environment and cost to remediate is staggering. The key factor is the inherent risk to the citizens, community, firefighters, and the environment. As a career firefighter and fire chief, I've witnessed firsthand the impact of cancer to the firefighting community globally. The runoff from firefighting foam impacts the water table, as the discharge was not contained through firefighting operations. The question remains, are we purchasing firefighting products that are environmentally friendly, non-toxic, and biodegradable to protect the public, firefighters, and the environment? I firmly believe there are a number of purchases annually across North America that does not meet the environmental impact criteria. Therefore, by purchasing products that are not certified as environmentally friendly and biodegradable, is simply placing citizens, communities, firefighters, and the environment at risk. FireRein EcoGel meets all the criteria and is easily deployable using existing firefighting equipment. The cost is in line with other foam firefighting products in the market. We are the only certified green product in the market at this time. Further, our product uses 50% less water than conventional firefighting foams and will not impact the environment. The cost to dispose of aged stock is minimal versus the high cost to dispose firefighting foam. Therefore, this is a clear savings to the fire department in purchasing EcoGel for Class A and B fires and wildland firefighting operations.
Industries from agriculture to rail transport to construction trades can prevent fires by proactive application of EcoGel in advance of hot work, such as cutting, grinding, soldering, or welding. We've also packaged EcoGel in hot work spray can format specifically for that purpose. The layer of EcoGel will form a barrier between sources of heat and flammable surfaces. During a firefighting event, EcoGel is extremely effective as a way to protect exposures in proximity to flames, to limit extension of the fire and reduce property loss. If the fire is at 100 Pine Street, EcoGel applied to the house at 102 Pine Street will act as a barrier to the propagation of the flames. Now we have recognition from Underwriters Laboratories that EcoGel can effectively extinguish Class A fires. EcoGel will stick and stay in place on horizontal, vertical, or overhead surfaces, addressing two sides of the fire triangle by creating a barrier to oxygen and cooling hot materials simultaneously. UL has also verified that EcoGel can extinguish Class B fires. EcoGel forms a resilient viscous membrane across the surface of the flammable liquid, excluding oxygen and binding the fuel into an emulsion. This membrane will last for days, not just a few hours, until the flammable liquid can be properly removed. FireRein provides complete training programs and technical support for the proper use of EcoGel and all of our associated products.
We've been using our mantra of prevent, protect, extinguish from the beginning, as it represents the comprehensive range of strategies for using FireRein EcoGel to reduce incidents of, limit the extent of, and officially combat fire. One agent, easy to use, safe to work with, FireRein EcoGel. Prevent, protect, extinguish.
Prevent, protect, extinguish.
Prevent, protect, extinguish.
Prevent, protect, extinguish.